Throw on some powder and buckle up. Today's going to be a sticky ride. PSA, thick thighs save lives. Brought to you by Sugar Dough. Today we're talking hair growth, directions, hair texture, and the best types of sugar dough formulas to use for those textures. And of course, some positioning to better assist you in the process of sugaring. Let's go. To start out, we have two consistencies at sugar dough: medium dough and firm dough. Now, the general consensus is that firm dough works for literally everything, but medium dough works best for the finer feather-like hairs. It actually did come as a surprise when my thigh hairs started growing in finer. And when that happened, I decided to make the switch to medium dough specifically for that. So you will see me using some medium dough in the beginning of the video and then switching to firm as well. As you can see, I am using what's left of my medium dough, just molding it in the direction opposite of hair growth a few times, hinging my hand downwards and flicking it parallel to the skin in the direction of hair growth. I know you guys have heard it like 3,000 times. Why do we have to pay attention to the direction that our hair grows? Why can't we just rip it off like how we would waxing? Well, simple answer. To achieve the best results and to minimize your chances of getting ingrown hairs, you want to make sure that the hair is pulled out directly from the roots. If you are flicking your hair in the direction opposite of hair growth, it makes it more likely that the hairs will break off. And if the hairs break off, you have a higher chance of getting ingrowns, which we all strongly dislike. Now here's a closer view of the direction my hair grows, straight up and down on top, and then wraps around on the sides. Now in the back, you'll actually see a third growth pattern where instead of growing down from my hips towards my knee, it grows from my knee towards my hips. If you're anything like me and your hair grows in more than one direction, just know you have to take your time, but your body will thank you. At this point, I switched out my medium dough for firm. It was just getting a little too sticky for me. And of course, the firm dough works awesome for all types of hairs, so you never have to worry whether or not it's actually going to pull out the hair. Plus, sugar dough has some of the most consistent formulas on the market, so we really are in luck over here. Let's give it up for the texture shot. Woo! Look at all that hair. As you can see, the firm is still very firm, whereas the medium dough tended to get a little bit more sticky quickly, which of course makes perfect sense. When you're selecting your perfect dough to use, you want to, of course, pay attention to the texture of your hair in the areas that you plan to sugar, but also pay attention to how hot those areas actually are. Areas like your inner thigh, your bikini, Brazilian, your underarms, they all get hot pretty quickly. So it is worth it to invest in the firm dough for those areas. Pro tip, if your dough gets too sticky for you and your hands are just covered in it, take a little bit of our talc-free powder, sprinkle that bad boy on there, mix it all together, and watch the magic happen. Think of it like the way that flour and cornstarch interacts with a sauce. It just thickens it up just the right amount so that you can continue to do the most with it. Now, as you can see, we're doing the most, but I just want to take a second to draw attention to that inner thigh and how absolutely hair-free and smooth it is. I mean, everybody give it up. Give a round of applause to that one inner thigh.
Woo!
Okay, please. That's enough. I also want to mention that every time you see me kind of tapping the dough on my leg, well, really bouncing it, I'm doing like short mini versions of the full rake and flick process. And it's really just to get the excess dough off. Now, you'll see me moving around a lot in this video and sitting, standing in different positions. Whatever position works best for your body type, for your ability type, those are the positions that you should be doing. So this variation of a lunge could easily be done sitting down with your foot up against the wall, or if you're able to hold your leg in the air and just reach under and do that. This is easy to modify. Remember when I showed you guys that third direction that my hair grows in the back? Well, this is how I get to it. Sometimes I'll just sit down and I'll put my foot up against a wall and I'll reach underneath it. Other times I'll lunge and I'll just kind of twist my upper body and reach my hand downwards to flick it. But today I chose to do it like this to show you all. Notice how I'm going super slow during this stage. When the dough gets to that consistency where it's kind of like when gum has been sitting inside of your mouth for like hours and it just kind of breaks down and gets super flimsy and sticky. That's the consistency that we're at now. So it's really important to make sure that you are not trying to force anything. Usually when it gets to this stage, I just set my dough off to the side and let it cool down a bit. It'll harden up and I'll pick it right back up and start using it again in a couple minutes. At this point, I went ahead and used a cloth strip to just remove the excess amount of dough that was on my leg still and moved right on. I cannot stress how important it is to have all of your materials ready for you on deck. Have your cloth strips ready, have your dough there, have your alternate style of dough if you need that, and of course have some water on the side just in case things get a little bit too sticky and you need to reset. Oh, and did I mention you should be holding your skin taut every single time you flick the dough off of it. Notice how I'm using one hand to rake the dough through, hinge, and flick. The other hand is just holding on to my skin for dear life. This is just so you reduce the chances of bruising and just causing any unnecessary trauma to your skin. And with every flick, with every movement, you'll want to continue readjusting that hand and holding your skin taut. And of course, sugar dough is all natural and it is safe to use on your skin multiple times. So you can go over the same area however many times you want to, and you're not going to end up with a shiny, ripped patch of skin. Don't at me if I missed a little spot because I was definitely not using a mirror this time. Pro tip, use a mirror. Yeah. And if you want a more luxurious spa-like sugaring session, keep a bowl of water next to you at all times and sprinkle a couple drops of your favorite essential oil in there. When it comes time to clean up, you'll have the most beautiful aromatic experience. And when you're done with the cleanup, reach for our aloe. It's going to help moisturize your skin, repair the skin barrier, and reduce any irritation that you might feel. A little goes a long way, so take just a little bit on the tips of your fingers, rub it on into those juicy thighs, and you're good to go. Before, and after. Sound off in the comments. Did it do well? I think it did. This video was brought to you by Sugar Dough & Co. Big Thighs Save Lives. Y'all have a great day. Like, comment, and subscribe.